This is part 1 of my 100 big perch challenge. In this episode you will see quite a few big perch, well, maybe not as big, but still very decent fish. Over 3 pounds, a few of them. And also, I will demonstrate how to tie those rigs which I use to catch those perch on. So, let's go! As I'm filming this, it's 16th of November 2019, and I have to say that most of the rivers here in the UK are flooded, they are unfishable, and actually you can't access some of the areas physically because they are under the water, so the banks are flooded, and obviously the fish are not feeding, especially predators, because the water is not only up, and also it's very muddy, so predators, especially perch, they seem to stop feeding when the conditions are just like that. But I have to say that I managed to catch quite a few perch just after I announced my 100 big perch challenge until I'm filming this episode now. So in this video I will demonstrate all of these perch, and let's start with the first one, which came out of the trend. Wow, what a way to start my challenge, my 100 big perch challenge. I managed my first big perch this morning, and it's absolute monster. I did take a weight of it, and it's 1 kilo and 60 grams, so it will be like 2 pounds, I don't know, 10 ounce, maybe 6 ounce, I don't know. I will put a number in pounds and ounces just in the shot somewhere at the bottom, but yeah, absolute monster. Let's do rock hard fingers type shot, just you would be able to appreciate this fish a little bit more. How about that, guys? Wow. And I have to say, I was thinking it's a pike or something, because this perch fought like quite well. It was holding the bottom quite well, and then it didn't shake his head, so I was thinking it's a pike or something like that. So, but when I saw stripy clump on the top, I was very happy. So yeah, that's it for this one. I will take a couple pictures and then we'll slip it back. Awesome result. And how I caught this perch, I won't talk about rods or anything. It's not as important. The most important bit is the rig, obviously, and in this case I don't know how well you will be able to see. I was using small creature lure. It's, I would say, maybe 4 centimeters in length, motor oil color, size 6 hook, so quite small hook, and 3.5 gram weight. And the rig, as you can see, the weight is sliding in small loop, as is the hook. So on the bottom this rig works quite nicely. I think I will put another little demonstration how to tie this rig. I did that before, but I think that rig is great, so why not try to make sure that you understand how to tie it and how it works. So yeah, nice little rig, and it caught me a decent perch already. I have to say I was pleased that I managed to pull that big perch out of the trend, and also I was pleased that my rig worked very well on the day. I think I will take a minute to demonstrate how to tie this rig, because I think that rig is just awesome for winter perching. Right, this rig is called Improved JIKA RIG or JIG RIG, and for that I will need just basic components. That's a hook. In this case, that's a Aberdeen type hook in size 1. That's a lead of required size and weight in your situations. In this case, that's a 7 grams. And lure of choice, of course, and the lure should be like matched to the hook size as well. In this case, that's a Zeman trick shots at 3 inches, I think. And of course, you will need your hook link, your fluorocarbon hook link, or some other hook link which you are using for your lure fishing. Okay, let's do this now. Let's put all this aside a little bit. Now I will form very basic surgeons, not just like that. I would say about 10 centimeters from the end. Then I will slide my lead on the line, and then I will slide my hook on the line, starting from the opposite side than the hook's point. Just like that. Then, with the tag end, I will go through that knot, which shouldn't be like pulled tight at the start. Just like that. Then I will go with the same tag end around the rest of the hook link 3 or 4 times. That should be enough for this demonstration. And now I will pass that tag end through that little knot once more. Just like that, and pull it tight. Of course, when tying your own rig, don't forget to wet this knot just before pulling it tight. Now I will trim off the tag end, leaving probably a couple mils. And now I will thread the lure on the hook. Yeah, that looks nice. As you can see, this rig has lots and lots of movement. The weight can move and also the hook can move. I hooked that big perch in the canal. I have to say that the canal I was fishing at is known like for smaller perch, like say £1.5 fish is very good, but to hook something bigger it's very rare. And when I hooked that big perch and landed, I was very pleased. So yeah, let's have a look at that big canal perch. Right guys, that's a second fish for me, which is over a kilo in my challenge, and I took a weight of it. Come on, relax. And it's 1 kilo 130 grams, and I caught it in quite small canal. So yeah, how about that guys? Very big fish for a canal. As I said, 1 kilo 130 grams, so it will be like 2.5 pounds, something like that, and quite a good condition as well, like chunky fish. Awesome. So yeah, number 2. Whoa perch juggling. So yeah, number 2 in my challenge, and 98 to go. Awesome. We'll do for you a little hard rock thingy, so you would be able to appreciate the size of this beautiful fish. Just before going back fishing, I will explain the rig I'm using today. As the canal is very weedy, I decided to go with the DROPSHOT rig, with my improved version of DROPSHOT rig, where the hook bait and the hook moves freely, but I have probably about, not a lot, like I would say 15 to 20 centimeters gap in between the weight and the lure. And that's the rig which caught me that big perch and some other fish this morning already. Yeah, again, I'm using this assembly just because the canal is weedy, as I said, and I'm not picking the weed with my hook mostly. I'm picking weed with my lead, but I'm fine with that. So yeah, nice little rig and very effective as well. As I caught that canal perch using different rig, that was my improved drop shot variation. I think I will take a minute to demonstrate how to tie that beautiful rig. In my opinion, that rig is just awesome when the situation requires that. Especially when it's weedy, you can have your lure above the weed and fish effectively for them. Anyway, let's have a look at that rig and how to tie it. The steps to tie this rig are very simple. All I will need is a lure of choice, hook and weight. Also, it's very important to mention that the hook size should be matched to the lure size. And then of course I will need some line. Ideally it should be fluorocarbon line, which will be used for a hook link. Now I will go ahead and tie this simple rig. I have to mention that you must think ahead when it comes to deciding what distance you want to have between the lead and the lure itself. In this case, I will go for about 10 centimeters. I will begin by forming a little surgeon's knot, just like that, but I'm not pulling it tight yet, and I have it about probably 15 centimeters from my tag end. Then I will thread my hook onto the line. It doesn't really matter from which direction. At this point I always start from the opposite directions and the hook's point. What I'm trying to achieve here is that my hook would be in a very small loop. As you just saw, I did put my tag end through that little knot which is not pulled tight yet. That size loop should be good enough. Then I will go around with the tag end around the other end of the line 3 or 4 times. And then I will grab my tag end and pass it through that knot once more, which is not pulled tight yet. Now it would be very good time to wet the knot when you will be tying your own rig. And that's it. Hook is nicely in a very small loop. Beautiful. Now I will go ahead and put the lure on. Just like that. Other anglers do like to put their lures just like on the bend of the hook, or just nose hooking type presentation, but I like to thread my lure onto the hook when I'm drop shotting properly, just like that. It just means in my head that if fish will attack the lure like in the middle, my hook point will be there to hook it. And now I will attach my lead to the tag end. Using any knot really will do here. Of course, I have to mention that you can use dedicated drop shot weights, but quite often I do not change the distance between my lure and my hook that much, so fixed weight is always more secure in my head. Very simple knot. 5 times around and back through the loop. We'll pull it tight. Of course, it would be a good time to wet the knot. And then I will trim off the tag end. Just like that. And that's it. My improved version of a drop shot rig, and as you can see, the lure can move to any direction, and it will help with the presentation and also with the hooking properties as well, because the fish will be able to attack the lure from any direction and suck it in, and the lure will go straight into the fish's mouth and hook it easily, because the hook can move 360 degrees to any direction more or less. The next perch came out of the trend, and I managed to hook that perch. Being a little bit more selective, I was using 3 inches, well, 275 inches long Zeman lure, and I hooked that perch on my second cast using that lure. I don't know whether that was just a random or that lure was so good and perch just couldn't resist it. But before that I was chucking different lures in the same area, and I couldn't hook that perch. Again, it can be random. Anyway, let's have a quick look at that big perch. A few minutes back I landed number 3 in my 100 big perch challenge, and I measured it, and it's 42 centimeters. a little bit feisty one. We'll try to hold it just nicely. How about that, guys? Awesome fish, very healthy fish as well. Look at the dorsal fin. Beautiful, brand new one. Yeah, 97 to go, and I hope that I will be able to catch a couple more this morning. I will talk about the rig I caught this perch on just in a minute. Let's have a quick look at the other side. Come on, Mr. Perch. Bang. Beautiful. Thank you, and time to go back. Well, as I'm trying to catch big perch or single out big perch, I'm using a little bit bigger lures than I usually do for perch. So in this case I have a decent size Z-Man lure, TDR one, the shorter one, about 3 inches, maybe a little bit less than that. And the color of this one is called Hot Snakes. Very beautiful color. It has like a greenish one side and darker another side. And I rigged this rig on my favorite probably rig when it comes to perching in winter. That's my variation of JIKA or JIG rig, where the lead or weight slides freely in a little loop. I would say maybe 3 to 4 centimeters loop. Yeah, beautiful little rig, and today this rig is working and the lure is working quite well. I only had 2 bites, but hey, I can't complain. One of them was my targeted species, so big perch. I will chuck this one about a little bit longer and hopefully catch a couple more.
For my number 4 and number 5, which did count towards my 100 big perch challenge, I went to fish 2 different rivers. And I have to say that fishing on that day was quite productive. I managed, I think, 8 big perch. Of course, 6 of them were a little bit short, about 37 centimeters. So they did not count towards my 100 big perch challenge, but 2 actually did count. They were 40 centimeters, I think, both of them. So yeah, let's have a quick look at some perch.
Right, guys, I have 2 perch in the net. And one of them is mine, so actually the smaller of them is mine. So even though that's a decent fish, that's actually exactly 40 centimeters, just exactly. So it does count towards, oh look, and he's putting up his dorsal fin. Come on, go for it. Come on, yeah, go for it. Anyway, as you can see, that's a beautiful fish, as I said, 40 centimeters, and I'm on 4 fish towards my 100 challenge result. And I caught it and landed exactly the same way I landed the first one. Pretty much one person was fishing on the bridge, hooking the perch, and then kind of dragging it towards the, oh yes, he did it. Yeah, and dragging it towards the bank so the other angler could land it. Very, very impressive angling. And exactly same way my mate Thomas caught. We haven't weighed it yet, but we do think it will be like maybe not 4 pounds, but it will be close. So very, very big fish. I don't even know how to handle such a big perch. Impressive. So yeah, I will mention how heavy it was a little bit later, but again, that's a fish Thomas just caught, and he's just having a cigarette, like a victory cigarette in the background. Yeah, impressive fish. And as I said, I will mention how heavy that fish is. We measured the length already, it's 44 centimeters, but it's very like deep fish, as you can see. Result for him. Right, guys, we changed the pegs many times, and right at the end, just before we will be going to have something to eat, I managed my second big perch of the day. Well, actually that's a 4th big perch of the day, but the one which counts, that's the second at 41 centimeters, this one.
Also, I have to mention that that day was not only good when it comes to fishing, but it was good because I met Archie, that a little boy who came with his granddad to see how the river is looking and how it's fishing. I think that they did intend to fish it later. But anyway, Archie was so like genuine when it comes to fish care and everything. Actually, I was handling decent perch when they came around, and Archie wanted to pet the fish, and also he wanted to lift it up just to hold it and feel it, and then he asked numerous times whether he will be able to let the fish go once we are ready. It was just amazing and super like nice to see very young lad being like very interested to fishing and the fish itself. I'm pretty sure that Archie at some point will be like, in the future when he will grow up, he will be very much, if you like, respected angler when it comes to fish care and everything, because you can see already that he is being gentle and nice, and he just wanted to like let the fish go after like petting it a little bit. Yeah, hello Archie, if you are watching this video. And now about the number 6. I have to say that this fish, I don't know why, but probably that fish likes me. Actually, I managed to land the same fish because I checked the pictures and I'm like 99% sure that was the same fish. So I landed that fish a couple weeks ago, and it was 1 kilo 700 grams. And it was my PB. And then after a couple of weeks I managed to hook and land the same fish in the same area, and actually it was 20 grams lighter. I don't know why it was lighter. It can be just because of operator's error. I mean, I was operator who did take the weight, so maybe I did a mistake on the first on the first time when I caught that fish, or maybe on the second time I did weight that fish, or maybe that fish on the first time, or just before I caught it, he just had a couple decent roach and it was heavier. Anyway, that's a monster. Let's have a look at that awesome big trend perch.
Right guys, it's Monday the 4th of November, and I went out just before work to try to catch maybe a perch. Really, I decided to go for an hour or so, and even though the fishing wasn't going very well, I started to like chucking around, and I managed just a couple smaller fish, and then whoa, I hooked into something a little bit special. How about that, guys? Wow, most of the time trend perch are quite good, and perch in general are quite good when you try to lift them up and take a pictures or whatever, but this one, I have to say that this one fought like a pike. I couldn't lift it off the bottom for a probably good minute. I was sure that it's a small pike or a decent pike, and then when I saw this perch, it was just wow. I don't think it will be my PB, but it will be close. I haven't measured it. I mean, yes, it counts towards my 100, that I'm sure of that. So yeah, it will be about 1.5 kilos, so 3.5 pounds, something like that. So I will take a quick measure now. 46 centimeters. Ooh, 1 kilo 680 grams, 85, 80. I'm happy with that. 1 kilo 680 grams. Yeah, that's my second best or biggest perch I ever caught. Wow, well impressed with this one. One quick look before letting it go. I mean, I'm keeping the fish out of the water as short as I can, but still, as it's quite damp and quite cold, the fish will be fine, absolutely fine. Well, it's very, very difficult to handle them like massive perch, because they are like so short and so bulky. Impressive. Trend is just wow this year. Wow. Yeah, as I said, number 6, and what a fish.
And it will be it from me for today. I hope you have found this video useful, or at least it was fun to watch. If you did find this video useful, please consider subscribing and leave thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.